Welcome back to my channel. Today I am Lillian. So if you're joining us for the first time, please click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you get notified anytime I post a new video. So today we'll be learning this simple gather gown and how to make this multiple layered puff sleeve. So if this is what you like to learn, please continue to the end. Thank you so much. Let's get into it.
For this tutorial, I'll be needing Ankara. So I already have my basic bodies. This is the front, and then this is the back, and then you also be needing sleeve. Okay, you also be needing your basic sleeve from your shoulder to your wrists. Okay, so we'll be needing two basic sleeves because we are actually making different sleeve for both side of the dress. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and then style this. So I'm only styling the back. That's because I want to actually have a deep back. So it's actually optional. You can choose to leave yours like this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here. Okay, so remember, whatever you are doing, this is your my main measurement. This is my allowance. Okay, so I'm going to start it from the main measurement. So I'm going to come down by 8 inches. I'm going to go down by 8 inches, and then I'm going to go ahead and then connect a straight line like this. And then I'm going to take it up like this. Okay, I'm going to add my allowance. So I'm going to add ½ inch. Okay guys, so this whole part will go off. So I'm just going to get my paper scissors and then I'll cut off at this point like this. Okay, so this is for the back pattern. So I'm going to set it aside. Then I'm going to come over to the front. I'm also going to cut out the front. So guys, so this is it. This is it for the front, and then this is it for the back. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to go ahead and then cut out on our fabric. I just want to extend my side darts. So I just want to extend it to the allowance before cutting. So go ahead and then cut out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to transfer my darts to my fabric. This is it for the front piece. So I'm going to set this aside. Then I'm going to bring my back pattern. Also going to cut out the back piece. Okay guys, so this is it for the back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to also transfer my darts. Okay, so this is it. So this is it for the back piece. And then this is it for the center front. Okay, so I'm going to set it aside. Then I'm going to bring back my main pattern. So I'm just going to cut my this points like this. Okay, so this is for my back interfacing. So I'll get my center front. So this is my center front. So I'll also go ahead and then cut out my interfacing. So I'll go ahead and then cut it out on my fabric. So what you're going to do, you're going to go over to your machine now. Okay, so you're going to sew your side dart. You're going to sew your dart, sew the side dart, then sew the waist dart and the side dart, and then go ahead. So you're also going to come over to the back, and then go ahead as usual, right side facing the right side, then sew your interfacing on it, and then join. Okay, remember we added half inch, so that is what you are joining with. You are also going to sew a ½ inch and then do the same thing here, and then sew off your waist dart. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll bring this back. So guys, this is it after sewing. I join by ½ inch and then I hold it together with hemming gum. So this is the back piece, then this is the back piece. So what I'm going to do now, just go ahead, join it shoulder to shoulder by. I'm going to join it shoulder to shoulder. And so what you're going to do, come over the shoulder, join by ½ inch. Okay, join by half inch, and then at the side join by 1 inch. Okay, so come at the side, join by 1 inch. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll bring it back. So guys, this is it after sewing. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. So you're going to bring out one of your sleeve. Okay, so you're going to bring one of your sleeve. Remember, I asked us to actually cut out two. So this is the front, then this is the back. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, for my elbow, I'm going to go up by 3 inches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my paper scissors. I'm going to cut out at this point. So after cutting at that point, what I'm going to do next with what I have left, I'm going to mark 9 inches. I'm going to mark 9 inches, and then I'm going to connect a straight line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and then cut out. And then whatever I have left here. Okay, so what I have left here is roughly 3.6. So this is 3.6 inches. So what we are going to do, you're going to come over here. You're going to go ahead and then create as many lines as possible. After creating the line, what you're going to do, you're going to label. Okay, so after labeling, go ahead and cut out. I'm going to go ahead and then place this on our fabric. My camera distance is not that high, so you'll not be able to see the width. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to measure it, and then I will tell you the width I'm using. Okay, so this is actually 45. Okay, so I'm using a width of 45. My fabric is not straight, so I'm just going to create a line as my guideline. Fabric is not straight. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to distribute this piece that we already cut around that 45 inches width. Okay, so like I said, so remember we actually numbered. So yeah, I'm going to start with number 1. So this is the number 1. So I'm going to come over here, then I'm going to pin it down. Okay guys, so this is it. Okay guys, so when you're done pinning, what you're going to do, just get your chalk and then try to align them together with your chalk like this. Okay, so align it at the top and then come over at the down, do the same here. So before you cut out, don't forget you are going to add ½ inch at the down for joining. Okay, so just, I'm using eye gauge. You can actually measure. Okay guys, so this is it. At the top, I already have my allowance at the top, so I'm not going to add any allowance there. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. So remember, we actually also cut out 9 inch. Okay, which is this. So I'm going to cut this out also. So guys, I want you to label. So label the upper part. This is the upper part, and then this is the down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and then pin down. Okay, so remember you are adding ½ inch at both ends. So add ½ inch. When you're done adding your allowance, get your fabric scissors and then cut out. Okay guys, so this is it. Okay, so remember we also cut out this sleeve. Okay, so this is the upper part, and then this is the down. Okay, so what I want you to do now, I want you to take the circumference of what you have left here. Okay, remember this is the upper part, so just take the circumference of this point. Okay, so this is, let me turn it around so you'll be seeing it. So like I said, take the circumference of what you have left. Okay, so as you can see, this is 11.6. So this is 11.6. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to go ahead and then cut out flare that we are going to use at the down part. Okay, so what to do now, for the peplum I'm going to have at the down part, so I want to use 720. Okay, so I'm going to be using 720 degree. So remember, 720 is 3 circles, so we are going to be having 3 circles. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, this is my circumference 11.6, so I'm going to be adding by half inch. So half inch into 3, since we are having 3 circles, that will give us 1.5 inch, so plus 1.5 inch. Okay, so plus 1.5 inch, so 11.6 plus 1.5 inch is going to give us 13 inches. Okay, so 11.6 plus 1.5 inch is going to give us 13 inches. So what we are going to do now, we are going to go ahead and then divide this by 3. Okay, so remember we are having 3 circles, so you are going to divide 13 by 3. So 13 divided by 3 is going to give us 4.3 something inches. So I'm just going to leave it as 4.3. Remember we have the usual rule that we usually divide by 6.28. So 4.3 divided by 6.28 is going to give me 0.6. Okay, so what I have left is 0.6. So this is what I'm going to use as my circumference for cutting each circle. So hope this is clear. I know we all actually know how to cut this, I guess. So what I'm going to do, you are going to determine your length. So the length I have here is 3.6, but I'm going to leave it as 5 inch. So I'm just going to fold my fabric into 4 like this. Okay, then I'll go ahead and then mark out 0.6 inches, 0.6, and then from that point I want to go down by 5 inch. Go ahead and then cut out. Okay guys, so this is it. So I'm going to cut out another 2. So this is it. So I'm going to open up at one side. So we are going to join this together. I went ahead to add paper stay. The same thing with my flare. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to run your gathers here. So however you run your gathers, go ahead and run your gathers. Okay guys, so this is it. So what you're going to do, you are going to get this piece, and then what you're going to do, you're going to place this right side facing the right side, and then you're going to also go ahead and then pleat the down part around it. Okay, so just go ahead, pleat this down part around it and sew on it. Okay, so when you're done sewing, you have something like this. Okay, then also join your peplum together. Okay, also join your peplum together, then go ahead and then sew it at the down part. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do as I explained, and then I'll bring it back. Okay, so after sewing, this is what we'll be having. So after joining both 3 pieces together, I went ahead and then added at the down part, and then I stitch here. I also join it together here, and then I sew by 1 inch. Okay, so what we are going to do now, like I said from the beginning, we are actually going to have 2 different sleeves on this dress. So I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to bring the second basic sleeve. Remember, I asked us to actually draft out 2 basic sleeves. So what I'm going to do for this, I'm going to also create a line just like I did before, randomly. So what you're going to do, you're going to label this 1, label this 2, label this 3. Go ahead and then cut this out. Okay guys, so this is it. So what you're going to do, you're going to get your fabric. Guys, so what I'm going to do, I will be using a width of 30. Okay, so I'll be using a width of 30. So this is it. Then I'm going to arrange this serially. Okay, so the most important thing is the width you are using. Okay, the distance between each does not really matter. So what you're going to do, you're going to come at the down. Okay, so just connect this together at the down. Okay, so this is the down part. So after connecting that down, what you're going to do, you are going to add additional 10 inches. So from that 10 inches I added is where I'm going to cut. So this is, so as you can see, this is the extra 10 inches we added. So I'm going to take the paper off now. So what you're going to do next, you are going to take the full length measurement. Okay, so just take the measurements. Okay, so this is, I will take this as 34. Okay, it's actually 33.7, so I will just assume it as 34. To do this 34, I'm going to divide it into 4. Okay, so it gave me 8.5 inch. So what you are going to do, you are going to come over here. We are going to start from this point. So come over here, mark your 8.5 inch. Okay, so what you're going to do, just mark your 8.5 inch, then come down, mark your 8.5 inch. So whatever you have, it actually depends on your sleeve. Okay, so I'm also going to mark another 8.5 inch here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to go ahead and then create a straight line. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my elastic. Okay, so along this line, I'm going to go ahead and then sew my elastic along these lines I already marked. Okay, so after sewing it, we are also going to turn at this point by ½ inch, and then we are also going to pass your elastic through it. Okay, so guys, I hope this is clear. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll bring it back. So just like I said, I added my elastic here, I added it here, I added it here, and then I also did the same thing here. Okay, so all you need to do is to run your gathers at this point. Okay, and then go ahead and fix it on your dress. Okay, so I'm going to also look at the second one. Okay, so I'm also going to go ahead and then fix this on my dress. Okay, I'm going to bring back my fabric and I'm going to cut out the down part. So at this point, whatever you are doing actually depends on you. It depends on the fabric you have available. Okay, but for me, my length is going to be 23. I don't want it to be too long. Okay, so I'll be using 23 inches length. So after marking, I'm going to take my fabric scissors and then I'm going to cut out. Okay guys, so this is it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and then run my gathers. So guys, so I went ahead to run my gathers. Okay, so this is it. So you can actually use whatever down part you want. Okay, so I'm going to, so this is the upper piece. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and then fix this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and then fix this. So I'm just going to go ahead and fix this, and then I'm going to go ahead and also fix my zip. Okay, and then I'll share the finished look with us. So thank you so much for watching.
So guys, so this is the finished look. So for the down part, I actually use about 3 hours for my gathers. Thank you so much for watching. See you on my next video. Thank you.